Saturday Sports with Jake Duran.
It's been a whirlwind of a couple of weeks for Northern Michigan's Jake Witt. Our sports director, Jake Duran, spoke with the former Wildcat turned Indianapolis Colt, who is as motivated as ever to realize his dream of playing on Sundays.
Surrounded by his family and friends on day 3 of the NFL Draft, Northern Michigan's Jake Witt eagerly awaited a phone call that would change his life. Witt saw his draft stock skyrocket during the pre-draft process. He firmly placed his name on the NFL radar after posting eye-popping numbers during workouts in the months leading up to draft day.
Draft day was stressful but exciting for sure. You know, I was watching rounds 4 and 5. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the tackles that are getting taken off the board. Round 6 starts to roll around. I'm like, okay, this is where things could get real, right? So I'm sitting there, and it was pretty darn stressful at this point. Round 6, the beginning of round 7, you know, we started getting calls from teams that didn't have any selections in those rounds that wanted to put their offer on the table in case I went to free agency. So every time I got a call, I'm like, oh man, is this it? But it turned out to be, you know, whether it was my agent or another team calling in that capacity.
Witt's phone rang again, and just as he was about to write it off as another false alarm, he noticed this call was different.
So it was funny with this call, like every other call would either have the area, and like a number without a name. This one actually said all caps Indianapolis Colts. So I'm like, oh boy, this might be the real one. So I picked it up. My heart was pounding. It was funny. We looked at the Fitbit heart rate tracker after the fact, and it was jumping up to like 140 around this time. And picked it up, and I got transferred to the general manager, and that was it.
After a short conversation with the Colts brass, it was official. Witt was a Colt.
You know, I talked to Chris Ballard, Coach Steichen, on the phone, and they said, hey, we're going to take you right here. Looked down to the TV. The Colts were 2 selections down the line still, and basically hung up the phone. I told everybody in the room, like, it's the Colts, and some cheering, you know, and we're waiting for the TV to pop it up in a couple minutes, and there it was.
Witt says the best part of the draft experience was the embrace with his biggest supporters.
You know, see my parents that excited for me. They've been there since the start of my journey, obviously, since day one, you know, of anything. And they've been to every single high school game that I ever played in, every single college game, home and away from both sports. And they're my biggest supporters, you know, and they know all the work that was put into this, the many hours, the many, years, and for it to all come to fruition in that moment, you know, it was a lot of emotion, and just to see them like so excited celebrating with me was an awesome experience.
A few days later, Witt was on the road heading to Indianapolis to take part in Colts Rookie Minicamp.
After the drive, we drove down, you know, checked in, did all the physical stuff, like the medical testing, all on Thursday. Friday, Saturday were, 13 and 14-hour days of meetings, practices, whatnot.
Witt says while arriving at the facilities was a surreal experience. Once he got out on the field, he was back in his comfort zone.
Once you get out on that field to play football, you know, it might as well have been at the old Ewan-Trout Creek field, might as well have been at the Superior Dome. I mean, it was a 100-yard field. We're out there playing football, and you know, we just do what we're there to do, you know, and I'm there for a reason. You know, they selected me. So I went back to my roots. I did what I knew I could do. And, you know, it was a great weekend. We got a lot of good work in, and now it's all about stacking days and improving.
Before leaving Indianapolis to make the trip back to the UP, Witt put pen to paper signing a 4-year deal with the Colts. Witt says while nothing is guaranteed, he's determined to prove he belongs.
I mean, all the work begins now, and it's all about, you know, that contract's there, but what am I going to do with it, right? Am I going to go out there and prove that I'm deserving of it, worthy of it? So, like I said, the work starts now, and it's going to be fun.
No matter where Witt's football journey takes him, he says he's appreciative of the support from people back home.
The Upper Peninsula support, you know, I even go down to Indianapolis, and I have a bunch of former Upers that reach out to me and say, hey, you know, this is my number, this is my address, come over for dinner sometime. And that kind of shows how Upers are. You know, they're always supporting each other wherever they are in the country. And back home, I mean, I'm back home right now, and meeting everybody in the community, everybody's so supportive throughout the entire UP, and that's just what makes this place so special.
Witt will head back down to Indianapolis next week for the Colts offseason program, which will last for about a month. He says he will then be back in the UP for a month before shipping out in mid-July for fall camp.
You know, you could sense culture, you could sense like an improvement in that whole organization just with everybody they brought in now. And I'm super excited to be there, and it's going to be a fun journey.